Hello sports fans, welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be going with my Super Bowl 60 prediction. So in Championship Week a couple weeks ago, I had a decent week going 1-1, and that brings my record on the season to 185-98. And before we get into my prediction for the Super Bowl, we'll be having a live watch before the game that will start about 6:30 Eastern Time on Sunday, where you guys get to see my live reactions and thoughts to everything as it happens, so be sure to subscribe and turn notifications, you guys don't miss that. But Super Bowl 60 is obviously this Sunday between the Patriots and Seahawks, and it should be a pretty good game. And we'll start off with how each team got here. So the Seahawks, they went 14-3 in the regular season. They got the number 1 seed in the NFC, and so far in the playoffs, they destroyed the 49ers in the divisional round 41-6, and in the NFC Championship game, they beat the Rams 31-27. Then for the Patriots, they also went 14-3 in the regular season. They got the 2 seed in the AFC, and on their playoff run, they've beaten the Chargers 16-3. They beat the Texans 28-16, and then they beat the Broncos 10-7 to win the AFC. But this should be a pretty good game, and it's a good match between two really well-rounded teams. Because the offense for the Patriots, they've been great, scoring 27.2 points per game, and that is regular season and postseason combined. And when I say all these stats when it comes to points per game or whatever, something like that per game, it's always going to be regular season and postseason combined. But the Patriots are scoring 27.2 points per game, but they face Seahawks defense that's actually best in the NFL, as they're allowing just 17.1 points per game. And on the other side, the offense for the Seahawks, they're also quite good, as they're scoring 29.2 points per game, and they've been even better in the playoffs, as in their 2 playoff games, they're scoring 36 points per game. But they face Patriots defense that's also quite good, and they've also been really good in the playoffs. As in the postseason, the Patriots are allowing just 8.7 points per game, and on the season, they're allowing 17.4 points per game. But this is definitely a very interesting matchup with how well-rounded both teams are. But looking a little bit deeper, here are 3 key matchups that I really think could decide this game. The first thing is, can the Patriots protect Drake May? And that ended up being a huge theme in last year's Super Bowl. The Chiefs could not protect Patrick Mahomes, and they ended up getting destroyed. And I definitely think that's going to play a big role once again this season. Because the Seahawks pass rush, they're great. They have 50 sacks on the season, and that is not a good matchup for the Patriots. Because Drake May has been sacked 62 times this season, which is most in the NFL, and he's also been sacked 5 times in all 3 playoff games. Now, they have faced 3 of the better pass rushes in the NFL, but the offensive line still has not been very good, and the matchup also doesn't get any easier this week for the Patriots. Another question I have is, can the Patriots offense score against good defense? Because so far in the playoffs, the offense for the Patriots has not been anything too impressive. Because in the playoffs, they're scoring just 18 points per game, and if we break it down game by game, it's really nothing too impressive. Because they scored just 16 against the Chargers, they did score 28 against the Texans, although it should have been a lot more considering the amount of interceptions CJ Stroud threw, and then a couple weeks ago, in the AFC Championship game, they scored just 10 points against the Broncos. Now, obviously, the conditions didn't help in that game, but even when the weather was good, they still didn't have a ton of offensive success. Now, again, the Patriots have faced 3 really good defenses in the playoffs, but they don't get an easier matchup because Seahawks' defense is number 1 in the NFL, allowing just 17.1 points per game. Now, I definitely think the Patriots' offense is good enough to score against good defense, but we'll have to see if they're up for the challenge. And the final matchup to watch is, can the Seahawks throw the ball against a good pass defense? Because Sam Darnold, he was obviously great in the NFC Championship game, and he's been great all year long. As in the NFC title game, he threw for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns. But while Darnold has been great, he also hasn't faced a great pass defense so far in the playoffs, because the 49ers and Rams are both well below league average. But Darnold, faces a good Patriots defense that is top 10 in both yards per attempt and passing yards per game, as they're allowing just 5.8 passing yards per attempt and 185 yards per game. And then one more thing in this matchup is Jackson Smith-Njigba against Christian Gonzalez. Now, I don't have enough to say to make that its own key matchup, although I definitely do think it's worth talking about. So that is definitely a huge matchup to watch. But getting into what I actually think will happen. So I hope this is a close game, especially after what we saw last year, and I definitely do think it will be closer than what we saw last year, but I still think one team ends up convincingly winning. And that team is the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seahawks pass rush really makes things difficult for this Patriots offense, and I trust Sam Darnold, especially with the way he's been playing lately, even against a great defense. So I've got the Seahawks getting the win, getting revenge for Super Bowl 49, and they beat the Patriots to win Super Bowl 60 by a score of 27-13, and Sam Darnold wins Super Bowl MVP. But that is my prediction for Super Bowl 60. I want you guys to think in the comments down below. Who do you guys think will win, and what is your score prediction? But thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.